Hello and welcome to WTNB Today. I'm your host, Wendy Benton, and I want to thank you for being with us today. I also want to thank our sponsor, led-gear.com. If you have lighting or staging needs, please visit their website, led-gear.com. We've got a lot of fun things coming up on the calendar. Let's take a quick look at that. Sponsored by Southeast Crossroads Magazine. You can pick one of these up at area retailers in Bradley, Hamilton, McMinn, Meigs, and Polk County. On March 12th through the 14th will be Stitches in Time Quilt Show at the Museum Center at 5 Points. That is Thursday and Friday from 10 to 7 and Saturday 10 to 4. On March 14th, Daughters of Excellence at God's Lighthouse Tabernacle will begin at 10 a.m. for their TV taping. That's at 304 20th Street Southeast. March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and there is a Veterans celebration in North Georgia for St. Patty's Day. Also, April 11th is Arts in Greenway Park. That is a partnership between Chalk the Walk and Groovin' on the Greenway. There will be a fun-filled day with chalk art on the Greenway from 12 to 4, and from 4:30 to 9 there will be bands in the park that day. Also, April 20th will end Eat Your Art Out. So that's going on right now at area restaurants in Cleveland, and that will be the last day to purchase artwork. Please visit their website at eatyourartoutcleveland.com. We've got a great show coming up. I've got two very special guests. Gerald Riggs and Paula Stinnett will be with me talking about their new venture, the factory that has opened in East Ridge. We will be right back after this break.
Live in 3, 2, 1.
Have you heard about the new WTNB deals around town? No? Well, then let me tell you all about it. Deals Around Town airs right here on WTNB Monday evenings at 7 p.m. I watch it because it features great local restaurants from right here in our area. And better yet, I can get 25, 50, even 75% off on these places when I just call in and buy a gift certificate. That's right, I just call in during the show and pick from dozens of deals. Rumor has it that WTNB Deals Around Town is growing and growing, so much so that they may be adding another night of savings. I've even heard that they will soon add even more places, and not just restaurants. We're talking kids fun, massages, who knows what will turn up. Remember, it's Monday evenings at 7 p.m. only on WTNB.
Why, hello, I'm Brent Winters. Welcome to my local store, Mattress and Furniture Expo. What we do here, it's kind of self-explanatory. Although recently, we've taken on something new. When you purchase a coupon from WTNB's Around Town Coupon Show, you can drop by our local store to pick them up here in Cleveland, Tennessee. Call today for any information you need. And feel free to stop by and take a look at the exciting deals we have on our mattresses. They'll put you to sleep, but in a good way, of course.
For over 25 years, Ed Jacobs & Associates has been treating each of our clients like business partners. Finding the right insurance for your employees shouldn't be that complicated or expensive. Receiving quality financial advice for you and your business should be even easier. We treat each client with respect and integrity and handle your situation as if it was our own. Call me today for your own free consultation.
Welcome back to the show. We've got some great guests today I want to introduce you to. Paula Stinnett and Gerald Briggs, welcome to the show, and I'm excited to have you guys here. You have come up with an amazing new idea for training young athletes and kind of catering to the whole child. And Paula, before we get started, one thing that we do on the show is tell a little bit about your background, our guest background, so our audience can get to know who you are. So if you don't care to share a little bit about yourself.
I'd love to, Wendy. I'm a teacher by training, 15 years in the classroom, experience with degrees in English, business, a leadership and administration degrees, a master's level, and predoctoral work. Dynamic classroom with the factory, and that's where all this led to. I really feel like God led me there with the 4 realms that we focus on. So all the background that I've had in education has really helped me, and my educational experience is in North Georgia, and that's where I've lived all my life, other than the stint when I lived in East Ridge for about 4 or 5 years. So I've been around this area and been around children. I have 5 children and 1 grandchild, and just a dynamic life. The Lord's really blessed me to be able to work in this element, in this environment. So really excited about this opportunity and bringing it to East Ridge and future locations around the area.
That's great, and I know our audience is going to be very intrigued when they hear what you guys have partnered together to do. Gerald, tell us about you.
Well, yes, I'm started out growing up in Atlanta, Georgia, moved to Chattanooga in high school and went to Red Bank High School and graduated from there, went on to University of Tennessee where I played my collegiate ball, went on to play a little bit in the NFL and a little bit of CFL. In my off seasons, pretty much focus on sports performance training. You know, my expertise goes back to working with a lot of the great minds in the area of sports performance training from college all the way up until now, and just wanted to focus on really working with the youth in terms of bringing them up to speed and giving them the right kind of start that they need so that they can be, you know, healthy and good performing athletes going forward in the future.
Well, and there's such a need for that, as we've talked a little bit last week and today about the needs of these student athletes and how important that it is. Paula, tell us a little bit about kind of the history and the making of the factory, because that's what you're here to talk about, your new endeavor, the factory that has opened in East Ridge. Mm-hmm. And if you don't care to share a little bit about the vision and what brought you guys together.
Well, it was really God at work. I was in a leadership class in Catoosa County, met one of the owners who said, hey, you know, come over. I want you to meet some guys. And you've got the passion that we're looking at. It's a new business. So I said, okay, I'll come over. They said they wanted some expertise, wanted me to tell them how to structure some things. I said, okay, great. So I walked in one evening, room full of men, and I went, oh, hi. And next thing I know, I'm telling them about education and how to teach, and they said, you're the one we want. And I went, really? This is an interview? And Ricky looked at me and he laughed. He said, yes, this was your interview. We've already Googled you. We know all about you. You're the one we want. There it began. That was September of last year. And from that initial start, we began meeting and working on this concept that we've developed in which the student receives training in all 4 areas, and I look at them as the essential realms: the mind, the body, the soul, and the emotional, the spiritual training as well. And we put all 4 elements together in our program to give a well-rounded young person in middle school, and we know middle school is such a transitional time in a child's life anyway. It's when they're sort of figuring out who they are and where they want to go, developing themselves for all their future endeavors. So we're there to help, and that's really what the factory does. we help families. The strong family dynamic is essential for success in any environment.
Right.
So that's what we are. We're family focused, family centered, and developing winners with children.
Gerald, what about your what you bring to the table? When did you come on board?
Absolutely. I came on board towards the end of last year. I think it was around December. Some mutual friends. We kind of discussing some ideas. Always had the idea of doing a facility where we could accommodate all the needs of young student athletes from a standpoint of their physical training as well as their academic training and spiritual training. And I was put in the room with a group of men, and we were able to come together and put our minds together and realize that we had the same ideas and same goals, and we wanted to come together and make something happen. And that's kind of where Beast University, which is my training company, we partnered up with the factory and being able to provide that very thing. So it was like I said, it was God at work, and it was one of those things that we just really felt like it was something that we very special that we wanted to get done.
Well, it's a perfect partnership, and we were talking about how today a lot of these young athletes, and you guys are focusing on middle school, which I think is wonderful, but there's a lot of them fall through the cracks, and as you mentioned, Gerald, their academics seem to fall to the wayside when they're a good athlete. And I know in our area, parents really focus on their child's athletic ability,
Right.
and oftentimes, doesn't really care about the academics. As long as they're passing okay,
Right.
they seem to be okay with it, and they want them out there on the field or the court and starting. But you all have taken that to a different level and trying to turn that dynamic around to say, this is important.
Yes.
Academics is greatly important.
We have no pass, no play. Wonderful. And as we discussed earlier, how many times did we hear that a ball player would graduate from college even and could not read or write? And we've put a stop to that. And what my background in high school, I don't know how many times I've had a ball player say, "Miss, I don't have to learn to read and write. I don't have to read this. I'm going to play pro ball." Well, statistics show 1 in 270,000 high school students, 1 will play pro sports. Those not good odds for playing pro sports. So it's really essential, and especially with Hope Scholarship, that we give students the academic training as well as the athletic training. Again, we've got to hit those 4 essential elements that construct all people. With the academic training, we take students. Let's say your student plays fall sports. Great. They don't have a lot of time after school because we know they have practice. They have practice on the weekends. Even during holidays, they practice. So those students will come to us during the spring, and we teach those students how to study, how to research. We really do a one-on-one, intricate study, training them how to be a successful student. So when they have less time during the season of their sport, they've got that background. They've got that skill set already mastered. And that way the factory, we're real versatile. The students who play spring sports come in the fall sports, they come to us in the spring. And then there's the students who are not playing sports at all who come to us because we build on those 4 elements and we really strengthen the student and the family bonds.
Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll pick up where you left off and talk about how the athletic training also comes into play. We'll be right back.
I believe that whatever we're facing, whatever difficulties, whatever challenges, whatever obstacles, that this word speaks to that. If you simply just have this word and you read this word and you allow it to sink into your heart, God will speak to you.
nestled comfortably at 2270 Candies Lane Northwest. Relics Antiques and Vintage Decor offers a very unique blend of furniture and accessories. Relics Antiques and Vintage Decor is always buying and selling quality antique and vintage items in the Cleveland area. We are always interested in reviewing the antiques that you want to sell. Come to our location today and sample the diverse exhibition of antiques at Relics Antiques and Vintage Decor.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Hi, I'm Samantha Young, Managing Editor of Southeast Crossroads Magazine, our area's newest and free monthly publication. We focus on events, people, and culture of our area. Pick one up at over 200 locations in Bradley, Hamilton, McMinn, Meigs, and Polk counties, or check us out online at southeastcrossroads.com.
Welcome back. We're here with Gerald Riggs and Paula Stinnett talking about their new business, The Factory, that they are in partnership with. And Paula's been talking about the academic side, and Gerald's going to expound upon that, and as well as bring in the athletic training side of the business.
Absolutely. Well, where the athletic side of things come in is where we provide for the kids that are in the after-school program, regardless of what their background is athletically, we provide a structured environment where they can get some kind of physical activity, which for them is great because it gives them the confidence to go out and do, the everyday necessary tasks, whether it's, getting, going to school and being able to feel the confidence to get up and ask questions, because a lot of times kids are they just don't feel confident enough to do so. That athletic training, through all the things they have to do, they endure in terms of the physicality and building their bodies up, they get to the point where they look at themselves and they feel better, they sleep better, they're more attentive, their minds are fresher, and they can go out and do what they need to do in school, which is very important. So, being able to provide that is big for the after school program. And then on the other side of the training things, we provide the specialized training for, whatever sport it may be, from football all the way to lacrosse, special skills, footwork, strength and conditioning, the speed aspect. We do everything and do it from a fundamental level and build them up from there. We take each individual athlete and we assess them based on where they are and on a battery of tests, and then we go from there and build a program specialized for them. There is a generalized program that everybody falls in line with, but each individual athlete is taken into account, and we do things that specialize for each one so that they can get the very most out of their training.
Now, and that's what you do for the kids that come to the factory for the after-school program.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have Beast University
Absolutely.
that is also for other athletes that just want to come for your services,
Yes.
separate from that?
Yes, Beach University, really, that's the behind it. I guess to kind of explain that was, we all consider ourselves beasts in some kind of way from a standpoint of being able to go out and do the very best and be the best. We all want to be the best at what we're doing, but the university comes into being well-rounded, being a well-rounded athlete, because you've got all these different elements that go into it. We do provide the training for, athletes who are on the higher level from a standpoint of they're really pushing themselves to get college scholarships, and all that, and providing that structure, again, that, from a fundamental level that gets them with the right necessary skills and brings them along from a health standpoint that keeps them healthy, as well as being able to improve on their skills to go out and compete. But in all, we wanted to really provide the structure that has these kids ready for the next level, going from high school to college, because as we talked about, having one in so many, or 270,000 or whatever it is that actually go on to be professionals. Well, there's that other percentage that you have to go to college first. And with any sport, when you get to college, it's a big transition from being at home every day and having your parents and having that support system to going to college and basically being on your own. Depending on what college you go to, they may have the necessary means to provide a support system, but a lot of them don't. And honestly, in college, it's really about what can you do from a performance standpoint. And a lot of kids, unfortunately, aren't prepared to handle the rigors of going to class, getting up and going to their workouts, going to tutors after their workouts in class, and still having other obligations to do for the school. It becomes overwhelming. And a lot of kids wash out and don't even get beyond the first or second year, much less get through their entire career in college and have a chance to go pro. And more kids than not are going to go on and be businessmen and women, congressmen and men and women, and all these different things. And we've got to provide the kind of structure that allows them to really focus on those skills that are going to help them be good people in life, more so than just being an athlete. That's what we come together to be able to do. And even with Beast University, that's our focus, is to be able to make the well-rounded athlete and have them know what it really means to be a student athlete, and the fact that, hey, you've got obligations from your workouts and everything that you have to do, but understanding that there is the academic element to everything, and then there's just the life element of knowing how to be a better person, learning how to be accountable, and understanding that there's so many things that go into just living life, because a lot of kids get out here and they just struggle if they don't make it. Some athletes that don't make it, they end up alone and don't have anybody to really look to, and they don't have skills that can help them pull themselves out of that unfortunate situation. So we want to be able to do everything we can to provide that knowledge base, so as they go forward, they can build on that and be able to go on and be successful.
Mm-hmm. It's such a symbiotic relationship, and I have to brag, Gerald is such a great coach. He's such a great motivator. The children arrive from their middle school day of rigorous study, and when they get to the factory, they're greeted by their staff, and we have a healthy snack, because we believe in healthy food, no junk food, and then they have an hour and a half of academic study. Now, the academics are so important because we're knocking out their homework. They don't have homework when they get home. It's done. And they have someone there with them. It's a small classroom. I speak with their teachers, so I know what the student is working on, what the student needs help in, what project is coming up, so it's not that last minute, oh, by the way, Mom, tomorrow this project is due. We're working on these things because I'm in communication with the teachers and with the parents and benefiting the student. After an hour and a half of academics and pumping them up, hey, you did that well, you knew what that was about, reviewing assignments, then I say, hey, it's time for athletics. And the kids go, yes! Coach Gerald! And they're so excited because they've had this success in the classroom and they've earned this going to work with Coach Gerald. And our kids, as Gerald stressed earlier, are not necessarily these team athletes. We have children, one in particular, a precious child who has asthma. And Gerald has really taken this child and built his endurance. I asked him, I said, what do you want from your athletic experience? And he said, Miss, I want endurance. And I said, all right, Coach Gerald, endurance. And Gerald has taken this child who is beginning to blossom in the classroom, and now he's gone from being afraid to go into athletics to, yes, yesterday it was 20 minutes, and he had to sit. Day, and now 30 minutes. And he's building this. We're taking the kids off the couch, away from this, and we're giving them success in all 4 realms of being. And we're seeing this success just bountiful, blissfully come to fruition in each and every child. So what a blessing, what a blessing. And the parents are saying, Paula, they get home from the factory. Their homework's done. We sit down, we have a family meal now. I come in from work, it's not the stress of homework and housework and bath and bed. It's giving us our family.
Right.
And that's what we're doing.
I want to send my children there, you know.
Bring them.
Can I bust
Bring
into
them.
East
We'd love
Ridge?
to have them.
Yes.
Right now you've got 30 students.
30 is the maximum.
30
that we can have.
maximum.
We don't have the maximum yet.
Okay.
So we're still looking for students. If you're in the East Ridge area, the factory is located right off Ringgold Road. The charge, $50 per week. But don't let that stop you, because we have scholarships and sponsors who care about children who are saying, hey, Paula, if you get a child in who can only afford $5 a day, take that child. We'll pay the other portion. So the information on the screen, our email addresses, phone comes direct to me. We'll get your child in the program. And of course, we're getting toward the end of the year now. End of May, school's over. But I promise you, 2 months in the program, you will see a difference.
Right. And Gerald, what about Beast University? What do you see this growing with the factory? Paula had mentioned at the top of the show about maybe expanding it into other areas.
Yes.
And I know right now we're just, you know,
Right.
stepping into it to see how it's going to go. But do you see that growing?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. This is not just a need for the Chattanooga, you know, area and the surrounding areas. This is a need across the country. This is something that a lot of communities really struggle with in terms of being able to give their kids something that they can, you know, use to grow and they can go on to be future leaders and make that community better going forward. So yeah, absolutely, we're going to, you know, grow this thing and hopefully be able to touch a lot of lives and a lot of families through this.
We've already been contacted by 2 other communities who are going, whoa, we want this. Give us
Yes.
what you've got. We want
Yes.
some of this. So yes, contact us and we'll be glad to help you set up a factory, Beast University, in your area.
Well, it's a great partnership, merging academics with athletics, and I think you're doing a fabulous job with these students that you've got, and I do see it growing tremendously. And I know I would love to see it in our area, in the Cleveland and Bradley County area. I want to thank you both for being our guests today.
Thank you.
I hope our audience has enjoyed this and the discussion, and maybe we can follow up a few months from now after May and just see how successful that you've been.
Forward to
Love to. Just let us know. We'll be here.
Okay, that sounds great. You have a great day, and we will see you next time on WTNB Today.